Mr. iPhone, find a location and stop unmuting yourself.
It's not me muting myself, but I will
stop unmuting yourself. You should be on mute. All right, everyone, welcome to the 187 District Court. Again, I'm not wearing a robe because I'm Zooming from chambers, and it has been close to 3 years and the heating AC still has not been fixed in the office, nor has the waterlogged carpet been changed. So I think we have a little bit of mold going on too back in chambers. Today is Tuesday. I hope everyone celebrated Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday yesterday, but whenever we have a Monday off, then Tuesday becomes a Tuesday and a Monday. These are the rules of the 187 District Court. You are in a courtroom. So whether you're at your home or at the jail, you are in a courtroom. Anything you could not do if you were physically in this courtroom, you cannot do on this Zoom screen. If you violate the rules while on Zoom, your Zoom privileges will be revoked and you will have to appear in the 187 District Court. The courtroom is located at 300 De La Rosa. It's on the 4th floor. And if you have to come downtown, you're going to have to get the Via bus. If you catch the Via, from when I caught the Via bus, they didn't give change, so they will not be giving you change. Or either you're going to have to catch an Uber or a Lyft. If you drive downtown, what you're going to find downtown is you're going to find a lot of one-ways, a lot of constructions. And if you are lucky enough to find parking space, you're going to find that parking the price in parking has greatly increased. You can just put it right there next time. Okay, thank you. All right, to all the inmates, you are not allowed to use the chat box. You are not allowed to use the internet. If you do either of these things, you will be sent back. As you can tell, there's staffing issues. So which case, when you're sent back, we'll probably see you in 60 to 90 days. If you are wearing a mask, that mask only works if it's covering your mouth and your nose, Mr. Garcia. You are wearing a mask not for yourself, but mostly for the protection of others. To all of those who are not in custody, but are at your home, at your work, at your job, there's to be no laying in bed. There's to be no using of the restroom while on Zoom. If you need to go to the restroom, you need to take a break then, but there is not to be brushing of teeth, combing of hair, doing of laundry, laying in bed, cooking of breakfast, and eating breakfast. I know you probably say, why is she giving these examples to us? Because it has happened. And there will be no excuses accepted. If you violate the rules, you're going to be forced to appear in person in court. If you are at work, you will need to tell your employer that you need to take an early break. You need to find a quiet place. You need to find a stationary place. So the person who is under Tina Williams, who's walking in the black outfit, the gentleman here, you need to find a location and you need to find a stable location. When you move around with your videos, what ends up happening is everyone on this end gets nauseous because there's constant movement. So you need to find a stable location.
Yes, ma'am. I just got out the restroom. Sorry about that.
Yes, no one wants to go to the restroom with you. What is your name?
Hardy Perkins.
I just don't have no phone, so I have to use my mother's cellular device.
All right, you need to find a stable location, and everyone knows that this court Zoom is at 9 a.m. and court is at 9 a.m. So whatever you should have taken care of with regards to personal hygiene should have been done before you came on the Zoom screen. To all the attorneys, if you have a plea bargain agreement, no matter how small that plea bargain agreement is, you need to put it in the chat box to the court coordinator. She's listed as Ferguson coordinator. Please do not chat her, call her, text her, email her, asking for a continuance. I'm the only person who can give that to you. If you have a plea bargain agreement, no matter how small it is, put it in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson so she can have the paperwork ready. The only thing she will need to know when you place it in the chat box to her is whether or not it's deferred, regular probation, or revocation if there are motions to revoke on this Zoom screen. If your client is on bond and you're working out an agreement, the court coordinator as well as the prosecutors will need to know your client's email address. I'm going to open breakout rooms. When I open the breakout rooms, it's going to invite everyone to go to a breakout room. Do not, I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to a breakout room. Prosecutors have the ability to move throughout the breakout room. So attorneys, when you're assigned to a breakout room, prosecutors will meet you there. As you can see, there are more attorneys than prosecutors. So please be patient when you're assigned to a breakout room. Think of those breakout rooms as going to a doctor's visit. When the doctor calls you to the back, they're not seeing you right away. They're putting you in one of those little tiny rooms, and they're just checking your weight and blood pressure. To all the defendants, if you see that your attorney has been signed to a breakout room, please do not request to go to that breakout room. Your attorney is probably going to want to speak to the prosecutor before they speak to you. When they want you to go to a breakout room, they will specifically ask for you. I'm going to be calling your attorney's name today. I'm not going to call your name. If you do not hear your attorney's name, it is because your attorney is Zooming in another court or had to appear in person in another court. If at all possible, you will get a chance to speak with your attorney. To attorneys, it would help things move faster is if you can add to your name the name of your client and whether or not it's criminal trial division or family violence. So this is the order in which attorneys will appear: Victoria Cruz, Bud Ridenour, Eddie Brabenek, Fernando Ramos, Miguel Hernandez, Joey Contreras, Nathaniel Navy, Robert Porter, Sean Brown, Derek Emmons, Paul Vasquez. I think that's the attorney on for today. Is there any other attorney's name that I have not called?
Joseph Stateson.
All right.
And I'll be, hello,
Joseph.
Judge.
Hello. I was going to say, if you and Nathaniel Navy are not on this Zoom in the 187th, it's not court without you guys being present.
Yes.
You're here all the time.
Scott
All
McCrum,
right.
Judge.
I'm sorry, Scott McCrum.
Yes.
All right. Anyone else? Okay. Victoria Cruz, who do you have?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Good morning, Judge. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I have David Zuniga. He's present in the courtroom. It's an MTR. I'm not on the new number one yet, but I can confer, please, if I may.
All right. Is it criminal trial division?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And the other thing I forgot to add, to all the defense attorneys and inmates, you are not excused from this Zoom unless I excuse you. So attorneys, do not tell your client if you're in the breakout room with them that they're excused, because then what happens is it takes a while for us to get them back so I can give them their court date. So Ms. Cruz, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. A prosecutor will meet you there. Bud Ridenour.
Morning, Your Honor. I have Raymond Garcia, family violence.
I'll send you to number 4.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Eddie Brabenek.
Morning, Your Honor. Marco Contreras.
Family violence or criminal trial division?
Sorry, trial division. And Judge, This is one where literally we've had an offer extended extremely reasonable about 8 times, and he's rejected each time and says he just wants to go to trial. So while I really like the state, I think they're starting to dislike me. I wondered if it was possible, and I put you first. I want you to know
You're
this.
not just like, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1, and you're going to need to confer on a jury trial date.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Ferguson, you have your hand raised?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I was trying to unmute. Judge, I sent you the chat.
All right, thank you. And I need you to go to breakout room number 1, please.
Yep.
All right, Fernando Ramos.
Morning, Judge. I have Charlie Perkins. We were
All
here
right.
for sentencing.
All right, and Mr. Perkins is supposed to be in the courthouse, is that correct?
Judge, I had advised him to come to the courthouse, and then last night, Norma sent me a text with his name saying to appear by Zoom.
All right, Mr. Perkins, let me see what's going on. All right, I don't know why that text was sent, or where. I'm going to send you to a breakout room and you can talk to Ms. Ferguson about that.
Sure. Thank you, Judge.
Yes. Miguel Hernandez.
Good morning, Your Honor. Antonio Melendez.
All right, I'll send you to number 5.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Joey Contreras.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Here with my client, Miguel Santiago Colon, who trial division, and like to go out to breakout.
All right, thank you. And my mom is reading your books, by the way.
Oh, Judge, tell me you warned her that these are, well.
Well, hey, I mean, it's if it turns into a movie, then you need to invite her to the set.
Okay.
She'll be like, I read it. But no, I told her, so, but she's enjoying it.
Very good. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Nathaniel Navy.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. I'll send you to number 7.
Thank you.
Robert Porter, good to see you.
Good morning, Your Honor.
I'll send you to number 8. Thank you so much for changing your name.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Sean Brown.
Morning, Your Honor.
Yes.
This is just on a motion that was filed on my client, Jose Avila. It was a case he was granted a DWI second probation in December of 2019. There's a hold on his license for the ignition interlock, and we've merely filed a motion with an order so DPS can be notified that there is no longer a condition of ignition interlock.
All right, let me check on that. And I'll see if I have that motion. Derek Edmonds, thank you for changing your name.
You're
I'll
welcome,
send
Judge.
you to number 9.
Thank you.
Paul Vasquez.
Good morning, Judge. We already have a plea agreement. I've already chatted Norma for the paperwork.
All right, so do you need to go into a breakout room with your client or?
Probably, Judge, once the paperwork comes through so I can go over it with them.
All right, then let me know. And is that for both cases that you have?
No, Judge, it's going to be on Vigil. Jose Vigil is the one that's going to be a plea this morning.
All right, and so then your other client, Joseph Anzaldua?
It just needs to be reset.
All right, let me send you to a breakout room on that one so the state can talk to you. I'm going to send you number 10. Joseph Stateson.
Yes, Judge. I'm here for Joanne de Hoyos, her client, Albert Cota Gonzalez Criminal Trial Division.
Okay, she's still like feeling the pain of the Dallas Cowboys loss.
Uh-oh. Yes, he is. Correct.
Well, the Saints didn't make the playoffs, so there you go.
I'll let
All
her,
right.
I'm sure she
But
knows it.
I'm still hoping she had a nice time at the game. It looked like she had a great time.
Right.
All right, I'm going to send you to number 11.
Thank you.
Scott McCrum, I'm going to send you to number 12.
Thank you.
All right, so we have any other attorneys who have not been assigned? All right, then we're going to go back to,
Yes, Judge.
yes.
I'm Gordon Slade. I'm here for Lisa Guzman. I just got my link.
Okay, and is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal, it's MTR.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 13. That's a lucky breakout room.
I sure hope so.
All right, and then we are going to take up Eddie Bravenik.
Judge, good morning. I spoke with Norma as well as Marcus.
Just one second. When I
Yes,
say
ma'am.
we're going to take you up, I still have to arrange things. It's not automatic, Eddie.
Sorry, Judge.
That's okay. And of course, it's not working, Brenda. It just doesn't want to work. Let's see. Maybe it takes it a while for it to do its thing, Brenna. You know, I want instantaneous working of the technology. Maybe it's reading. Yes, it was reading. Where is your client, Mr. Bravenik? Is he in custody?
Your Honor, he is in custody.
Okay.
I believe he's showing up on my Zoom
Oh,
screen.
I have him now.
Okay.
Just give me one moment. All right, Albert Flores, who do you have?
Morning, Judge. I've got Juan Garcia Sanchez,
Criminal trial division or family violence?
family violence.
I'll send you to number 14.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Marco Contreras. So what date have you been given, Mr. Bravenik?
March 1st, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to go on the record briefly just to put the trial date on the record. Court is calling 2019 CR 8169, State of Texas versus Marco Anthony Contreras for the defense.
Eddie Bravenik.
All right, and Mr. Contreras, could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you at Marco Antonio Contreras?
Yes.
All right, defense, have you received all the discovery in this case?
I believe I have, Your Honor.
All right, and then the court is going to need an acknowledgement of discovery. So to the state on Marco Contreras, the court does not have an acknowledgement of discovery in the court's file, and that will need to be tendered. Has an offer been tendered, Mr. Bravenik?
It has, Your Honor.
And Mr. Contreras, are you rejecting that offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Bravenik, have you been given a jury trial date?
Yes, Your Honor, March 1st.
All right, Mr. Contreras, your jury trial date then is going to be March 1st. your plea deadline date has expired, and I know you've been waiting for a jury trial for a while now. As I look at the docketing sheet, the jury trials have been suspended for the month of January, so there's no jury trial available for you this month. And I know you were going to be scheduled for jury trial on January 18th. So your new jury trial date is going to be March 1st. If we have jurors available and juries are not suspended, if you're still in custody, you will be brought over from the jail dressed for trial. You will appear in whatever clothing you came with to the jail. So whatever you were taken into custody with, that's what you'll be brought over dressed for trial. If you would like different clothing to wear for trial, you need to make arrangements with your attorney. Mr. Brobenick, if there's an issue with the clothing exchange, let the court know and we'll see how we can facilitate that. However, Mr. Contreras, if you're released from custody, you'll need to appear in the 187th District Court at 9 a.m. dressed for trial. The courtroom is located at 300 De La Rosa. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, when is your court date?
March 1st
And what time?
at 9 a.m.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else, Mr. Brobenick?
So Judge, I just wanted to go over some basics with him because I wanted to tell him like when I will be by to go over the discovery. Would you be kind enough to put him and I in a breakout room and excuse me from that breakout room?
Yes, but you'll need to make sure that your client returns to the main room. So Mr. Contreras, when your attorney finished speaking with you, come back to the main room because the deputies don't like people wandering around, and we'll make sure that you're excused from the main room.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Contreras, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 15 with your attorney.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge, always good to see you.
All right, you two have a good one. Ms. Garcia, who do you have? You're on mute.
Good morning, Judge. I have David Rodriguez, 2020 CR 10451.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
It's Criminal Trial Division.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 16. A prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, yes, Mr. Ramos.
Judge, it was completely my fault. I misunderstood the email. I've talked to my client. He's on his way. It should take him about 40 minutes to get here. In the meantime, may I be excused to answer the dockets?
Yes.
And I'll be back, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Sean Brown.
Yes, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning. And you have Avila?
Yes, ma'am.
Has your client's probation been terminated?
I believe so. Based on the date, it was a 2-year probation. He started December of 2019, so it would have expired in December of 2021. He had an in-home device, which was released by the court after he completed half the term. He was not given ignition interlock, but because of his arrest for a DWI third or more, it was listed as a condition for his driver's license, and so it still is. We just need to get that order signed so we can provide it to DPS.
All right, so I don't have an order in my possession. Did you file it?
We did on December 3rd at 5 o'clock. Shows that it was filed with our motion.
Just give me one moment, okay?
Sure.
All right, Mr. Brown, I found your motion.
Great.
And everyone, remember to change your orders to 2022. I
Yes.
know, we're forgetting that.
Yes, for sure. I can't
Hint,
believe it's
hint,
already
Sean
22.
Brown.
Yes, I'll fall on the sword for everybody, Judge, for sure.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's been signed, and you can talk with the clerks and they'll make sure that you receive a copy.
Okay, I may have somebody run over there real quick and grab it. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, thank you. You're welcome.
May I be
Victoria,
excused?
yes, Victoria Cruz.
Good morning, Your Honor. I've conferred.
Yes. And your client, who's your client, please?
David Zuniga, MTR. He's present in the courtroom.
All right. So what is happening with Mr. Zuniga?
I conferred with Brittany and she wants him to accomplish certain tasks. I think that we will be very close to working this one out, but I need some time for him to catch up on some of the things that she's asking for. Well, that he was supposed to do.
All right, Mr. Zuniga, if you can come forward, please.
But this one should get worked out, Your Honor.
Okay, so how much time are you saying that your client needs?
He needs to make some significant progress on his community service hours. So I would ask for 45 days, but I'll take 30. That's what you'll give me.
Okay. All right, so he has 100 hours of community service restitution, or he can pay $7.25 per hour to the San Antonio Food Bank. And so you're saying what he needs to do is address the community service hours issue?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Rebecca, how much community service does Mr. Zuniga have remaining?
Let me pull that up.
Thank you.
Uh, 100, Your Honor. I think he's got 100 left.
It looks like he has 72 remaining.
Oh,
all right. Better. So there's 72 hours remaining. And Mr. Zuniga, what the court has been doing is the court has been allowing for the deduction of 40 hours if you provide proof that you've obtained the COVID vaccination. Court is not requiring anyone to get the COVID vaccination, whether you get it or not get it, that's completely up to you. And when I say obtain the COVID vaccination, that includes the booster shot. So if you've done all of that and you provide proof of that, 40 hours will be deducted. So that will leave you a remaining of 32 hours, I believe, if my math serves me correct. Brenna, Ms. Holmes will be proud. So what I'm going to do, if you were to do at least 3 hours a day, you should be finished fairly quickly. So Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Zuniga, I have a 30-day reset in the chat box, please. And do you have the information on the new number one, Ms. Cruz?
Yes, Your Honor, we are not retained on that one, but Mr. Zuniga has expressed that he wants to retain us. That new number one is unindicted.
All right, and is that new number one going to affect whatever agreement you all have worked out?
The agreement includes a resolution to that offense, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. So we're going to come back on February 21st at 9 a.m. Mr. Zuniga, you'll need to appear in courtroom on that day unless, Ms. Cruz, something has been worked out.
So you want him in person unless we have a deal?
Yes, unless, I don't know what your agreement is going to be. I don't know if the agreement is going to be something that requires custody. But if it is something of that nature, he'll need to appear in court.
Understood.
All right, Mr. Cruz, they're going to give you a reset form. Once you receive that reset form, you are excused. And we'll see you back on February 21st. Do you understand? You can speak up. Do you understand?
Yes.
Why are people not talking this morning, Brenna? All right, so we'll see you then. You need to make sure you get those community service hours. I am not going to give another reset for community service hours. There are a lot of places you can do community service hours with. Rebecca, do you need to speak with him in a breakout room?
No, ma'am.
All right, you'll need to get in contact with your probation officer. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Cruz, unless you have someone else with us, you are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Zuniga, we're gonna call you later this afternoon, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your week. All right, Bud Ridnow.
Morning, ma'am. We have conferred. We would need a trial date at this point.
All right. I'm gonna
Mr.
send you-
Garcia he's in custody. He's on the Zoom.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 1. Ms. Ferguson, if you can go to number 1 and confer over a trial date, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Miguel Hernandez.
Yes, Judge. Basically the same announcement as during now. We've conferred. My client wants a trial.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 1.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Albert Flores.
Yes, Judge, I've conferred with family violence. We also need a trial date, please.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 1. Nathaniel Navy.
Judge, on this case, I have been researching an issue about my client's CDL and whether it would be suspended for life. And honestly, that is a major issue on whether he wants a trial or not. And I wasn't able to get a 100% confirmation on that. I did a lot of research on it yesterday. I think I just honestly need to probably call an attorney with DPS to try to figure this out. I've run it by other attorneys too, and I haven't really been able to answer this question. So if you could just give me, a couple weeks, Judge, just to try to get an answer on this for sure. Because if it's not going to be a lifetime suspension, we do have a plea in place.
Oh. All right, Ruben Coronado. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, ma'am.
All right, I think you need some leather thing at the top of your vehicle to preserve the leather. What is that cleaner that they use?
It's the vinyl restore.
Yeah, there we go. So now I know you truly are a truck driver. You know about the vinyl restore. All right, so this is what we're going to do on Mr. Ruben Coronado. I know how research can go, Mr. Navy, as a former defense attorney. And I know, do you have an appellate section at your office?
No.
Yeah, so I know how that goes. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to recall it for February 21st.
Thank you.
And I know how attorneys procrastinate because I used to procrastinate, but I know you're not a procrastinator. So I'm going to need the answer by that date.
Of course, Judge.
All right, if you don't have anything else with us, you're excused.
Okay, thank you, Judge. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Thank you, Mr. Coronado. You're excused.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good one.
Driving. Watch out for the cars that get in front of you.
Oh, there's plenty of those out there. Believe me.
I know. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, ma'am. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, Mr. Rittenauer, your client is Raymond Garcia. Is he in custody?
He is, Your Honor. We have a trial date of March the 1st.
All right, are you Raymond Garcia?
Yes, I am.
All right, just give me a moment. All right, we're going to put your trial date on the record. Court is calling 2007 CR 4352, State of Texas versus Raymond Garcia. Could I have defense announced for the record, please?
Right of trial, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, what's your name for the record?
Oh, I'm sorry, Bud Rittenauer. I'm doing this from home. I'm
That's okay. I'm like, is your name ready for trial? Or being your middle name and last name trial. All right. And are you Raymond Garcia?
No, ma'am.
You're not Raymond Garcia.
Wrong one, Judge. 14N, I think it is.
All right, let me see. They have you listed as R. Garcia. That's why I thought you were Raymond Garcia. All right, are you Raymond Garcia? Could you unmute for me, sir?
Yes, I am.
All right. All right, Mr. Rittenhour, have you received all the discovery in this case?
I believe I have, Judge. There's nothing dated later than 2009.
Right, so on this case, I'm going to need the acknowledgement of discovery done before trial. Has an offer been tendered, Mr. Rittenhour?
It has, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia, are you rejecting the offer?
Yes, I am, Judge.
Are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Rittenhour, did you have a chance to confer on a jury trial date with the court coordinator?
I did, Your Honor.
And what date are you set for?
March the 1st.
All right, do you have any objections to that date?
I don't have an objection. I will advise the court that my building was out of power, had the power turned off over the weekend. I don't think it's back on, so I don't have access to my calendar. If that's a problem, I'll figure out how to resolve the conflict. So I don't have an objection to that date.
All right, thank you. Mr. Garcia, your trial date is going to be March 1st at 9 a.m. in the 187 District Court. If you are still in custody, you will be brought over from the jail in the clothing that you were taken into custody in. So if you want to wear something other than what you were brought to the jail in, you'll need to speak with your attorney. Mr. Rittenhour, if there's an issue with the clothing exchange, let the court know. We'll see if we can help facilitate that. However, Mr. Garcia, if you're released and you are on bond, you'll need to appear in the 187 District Court at 9 a.m. on March 1st, dressed for jury trial. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge.
All right, when is your jury trial date?
March 1st.
All right, if there's nothing else, we will go off the record. Do you need to speak with your client?
I would like to do that, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Rittenhour, I'll send you both to a breakout room, and after you've spoken to your client, if you could send him back to the main room, please.
Yes, Judge.
And Mr. Rittenhour, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. Mr. Garcia, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you.
Is there any other attorney who's ready?
Judge, this is Miguel Hernandez. I already talked to Norma. I forgot though that my guy is a Spanish speaker. We're going to be set for trial though on the.
All right, so we'll need to get the interpreter in here. As soon as the interpreter comes, we'll take that up to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Garcia, do you see, do you have a mouse? Do you have a mouse?
Yeah, and I can't use it, so I got to call somebody over.
They won't let you use that?
No,
Okay.
we're off limits, I guess. I don't.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hernandez, just give us a moment.
No,
We'll get the
thanks,
interpreter
Judge.
in
My
and
fault.
take that up.
My fault.
Any other attorney who's ready?
I'm
Robert
ready
Porter?
I'm ready to announce, Your Honor.
Yes.
On Mr. Curry, we were set for a bench trial today. It's obviously been moved. And Norma gave us a March 21st court date.
All right, Mr. Curry, we're going to go on the record just to put the bench trial on the record. Court is calling 2020 CR 5704A, State of Texas versus Lamont Curry. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? I'm sorry, for the defense.
Robert Porter, Judge.
And are you Mr. Curry?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Mr. Curry, you were scheduled for a bench trial, but because of the pandemic, jury trials have been suspended. And we're trying to limit the number of people who are actually brought to the courtroom. Mr. Porter, the date could be moved up, but it will only be able to be moved up if everyone is agreeable to having the bench trial by Zoom for witnesses. But if you want the witnesses to be in person in court, and for us, all of us to be in court, then we're going to have to keep the March 21st date.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, just so you know, we're ready. That issue is, I understand that with the Zoom issue with the witnesses, but we need them face to face simply because of evidence that's going to be being shown to those witnesses.
Okay. All right, I understand that. But as you know, Mr. Porter, we can show the evidence on the shared screen to the witnesses, but I understand why you would want it in person and why the state wants it in person. So the soonest we can do that, Mr. Curry, will be on March 21st. And what I can tell you, we will make that happen on that date.
You wanna, can I please have a bond reduction?
Your attorney will have to file that motion and then the court will hear it. I believe we've already had a motion before. So we have not had a bond motion, Mr. Curry?
We have, Judge. I'll file another one.
Okay. So once that's filed, we'll place it on the docket, Mr. Curry.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then, Mr. Curry, I'm going to go by to the jail and talk to you, okay?
All right, so we're going to be back on March 21st, Mr. Curry, and you'll be brought over. And Mr. Porter?
Yes, Your Honor.
If your client wishes to appear in some clothing other than the clothing that he was brought to jail in, then of course you'll have to make that clothing exchange. If there are some issues with the clothing exchange, let the court know and we'll see if we can facilitate that. And then Mr. Curry, if you are released, of course, come dressed for a bench trial.
I will make sure Mr. Curry is dressed properly for court.
And one more thing, Judge.
Yes.
Can I waive the monitor as well?
Once your attorney files the motion, we will hear every part of that motion that your attorney and yourself would like heard. Okay. And here's the thing, Mr. Curry, in the 187 District Court, this is the way we do things here. If your attorney files that motion today, and if the state is ready to proceed with that motion tomorrow, we'll proceed with that motion tomorrow. And I say if the state is ready because the state is allowed to have time to prepare for a motion. For example, if the state were to file a motion right now and want it heard, and that motion is something against you, I wouldn't tell your attorney, be prepared tomorrow, because he deserves a right and you deserve the right to have ample amount of time to be prepared for that motion. So I will tell you, as soon as Mr. Porter files the motion, which I know he'll probably do it, he's probably working on it right now to file it. He will confer with Ms. Ferguson, our court coordinator, and we'll put it on the docket as soon as possible. I will tell you this, that motion will be heard before February. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Curry. Mr. Porter, do you need to speak with Mr. Curry anymore?
If I could, Judge, briefly.
Sure. I am going to send you to breakout room number 2. Mr. Curry, if you'll go to breakout room number 2, then come back to the main room, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other attorneys ready? All right, Mr. Flores. You're on mute, Mr. Flores.
All right, sorry, I thought I hit that. We've conferred, Norma's given us a date of the week of March 21st.
Where's your client?
He should be on Zoom, Judge.
Juan Sanchez, where are you?
He's a Spanish
Juan
speaker.
Sanchez. Oh, well, we need an interpreter here. So just hang tight. We'll get an interpreter. Ms. Ferguson, we need an interpreter.
I'm on it, Judge.
Thank you. Anyone else ready? All right, and Mr. Flores, I'll need you to remain here because once we have the interpreter in, we'll take that up, and we'll take that up with you as well, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, can I see you in a breakout room really quick?
I'll see you in number 1. Mr. Porter, have you finished with Mr. Curry?
I have, Your Honor.
All right, Norma, 16B Curry can go back.
And if I might be excused,
Yes, you're excused.
thank you. I'll take care.
You're welcome. Bud Ridnour, are you back?
You are back, Judge. Mr. Rodriguez should be here.
Yes.
Garcia, excuse me. If we could both be released from here, we'd appreciate it, Judge.
Thank you. You're excused. Norma, can you let them know 14N can go back? That's Mr. Garcia, 14N.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Hi, Norma.
Hi, good morning, Judge.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, well, it's a beautiful day outside.
It is.
So I thought it was going to be a little rainy, but that hasn't happened. So we're going to have 2 people today.
Yes, Judge.
Brenda, when I change that, it always throws things off. Oh, now it works. All right, Miguel's client, Miguel Hernandez, his client is Antonio Melendez. And he has two cases. The cause numbers are 2020 CR 7275 and 2020 CR 7274.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
And then the other one we have is the attorney is Albert Flores,
Mhm.
and the defendant is Juan Garcia Sanchez. And that cause number is 2019 CR 6322. All right, so Miguel, is your client in custody or on bond?
He's in custody, Your Honor. He's Melendez A L17, I believe.
All right. So the only thing we're going to do with these cases, Ms. Nero, is we're going to put the trial date on the record. And what trial date do you have, Mr. Hernandez?
March 8th, Your Honor.
And then Albert Flores, for your client, Juan Garcia Sanchez, what trial date do you have?
Judge, they gave us a date of March 22nd, Tuesday.
Okay, so we're going to take up Mr. Hernandez case first. And Norma, it's
Yes, Your Honor.
very difficult to change to the Spanish channel and change that, because as you can see, there are a lot of inmates there. So
Yes, Your Honor.
if you could speak with Mr. Antonio Melendez and ask him to unmute himself, please.
Okay. Señor Antonio Meléndez, ¿me escucha? Prenda su micrófono.
Sí.
Okay, yes.
The court is calling 2020 CR 7274 and 2020 CR 7275, State of Texas versus Antonio Melendez.
Ok, este tribunal llama la causa 2020 CR 7274 y causa 2020 CR 7275, el estado de Texas contra Antonio Meléndez.
We have an interpreter here. Ms. Nero, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm you will faithfully translate from Spanish into English and from English into Spanish, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez,
Yes,
have
sir.
you received all the discovery in each of these cases?
I believe I
Ese-
have, Your Honor.
Señor Hernández, usted ha recibido toda la prueba por parte del Estado en ambos casos. Sí, sí, su señoría.
And each of the cause numbers has an offer been tendered.
They have,
Y,
Your Honor.
y en cada una de estas causas se ha presentado alguna oferta. Sí, su señoría.
And Mr. Hernandez, if you could wait once I ask the question, if you could let the interpreter interpret and then answer, it will make it easier.
Thank you, Judge. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Mr. Melendez, are you rejecting the offer in each of the cause numbers?
Y señor Meléndez, ¿usted está rechazando la oferta en cada una de estas causas?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Melendez, in each of the cause numbers, your jury trial date will be March 8th, 2022.
Y señor Meléndez, en cada uno de sus casos, la fecha para juicio es marzo 8 del 2022.
Okay.
Ok.
Mr. Hernandez, do you have any objection to March 8th as a jury trial date?
No, Your Honor.
Y señor Hernández, ¿usted tiene alguna objeción a la fecha de marzo 8 del 2022 para juicio conjurado? No, su señoría.
Mr. Melendez, you will be brought over from the jail, dressed for trial, in the clothes that you were arrested in.
Y señor Meléndez, usted va a ser traído al tribunal en la fecha de su juicio vestido con la ropa con la que usted fue arrestado.
Your Honor, if I may, I have in contact with his family. They will take care of clothing exchange.
Y su señoría, yo he estado en contacto con la familia de él y ellos van a proporcionar, se van a encargar de la ropa de él.
If there's an issue with the clothing exchange, Mr. Hernandez, let us know and we will try to help facilitate that.
Y si hay algún problema con el intercambio de la ropa, señor Hernández, por favor, háganoslo saber para facilitar eso.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sí, su señoría.
Mr. Melendez, if you are released from jail, you will need to appear in the 187 District Court at 9 a.m. on March 8th, dressed for trial. The courtroom is located at 300 De La Rosa.
Y señor Meléndez, si usted fuera puesto en libertad, entonces usted tendría que comparecer en el tribunal 187 que se encuentra en la calle Dolorosa número 300 y tendría que presentarse vestido adecuadamente a las 9 de la mañana, marzo 8 del 2022.
Sí, sí.
Yes, ma'am.
When is your court date?
¿Cuándo es su fecha de corte?
8 de marzo.
March 8th,
2022.
All right.
2022.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Gracias.
And then Mr. Melendez, we're going to have you sent back.
Y señor Meléndez, ¿ya lo van a regresar?
Okay.
Okay.
Ms.
Gracias.
Ferguson, can you let them know that L17 can go back, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, your excuse.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Everybody
All
have a
right.
good day.
You too. Albert, is your client in custody?
No, Your Honor, he's on bond.
Where is he?
He's the one wearing the black coat. It's just a telephone number sitting at a kitchen table.
All right, let me see if I can find him. Brenda, do you see?
I think.
Oh, wait a minute. I think here we are. Is this your client?
I can't see it on my screen, Judge.
With a blue face mask?
Yeah, he's in quarantine, Judge. Yes, that's him. Short hair, black sports coat.
All right. We're going to call 2019 CR 6322, State of Texas versus Juan Anthony Garcia Sanchez.
Y se llama la causa 2019 CR 6322, el estado de Texas contra Juan García Sánchez.
The interpreter has been previously sworn in and is still sworn in.
La intérprete ha dado su juramento anteriormente y continúa bajo juramento.
All right, Mr. Flores, have you received all the discovery in this case?
Señor Flores, ¿usted ha recibido toda la evidencia en esta causa? Sí, su señoría.
And has an offer been tendered?
¿Y se ha se ha presentado una oferta?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sí, su señoría.
And is there any citizenship issues with your client?
¿Y hay algún asunto de ciudadanía con su cliente?
There may be, Your Honor, depending on how this goes.
Lo pudiera ver dependiendo cómo continúe este caso.
Has your client been in contact with an immigration attorney?
¿Y su abogado ha estado en contacto con un abogado de migración?
I don't recall in this case, Judge.
No recuerdo en este caso.
Well, based upon the charges, your client will be deported. Is that correct?
Y basado en los cargos que su cliente tiene, él pudiera ser deportado. ¿Eso es correcto?
Based on my limited knowledge, Judge, yes, that's correct.
Y basado en mi conocimiento limitado, sí, su señoría, eso es correcto.
Have you received a jury trial date?
¿Y usted ha recibido una fecha para juicio conjurado?
I have, Your Honor.
Sí, su señoría.
And what is that date?
¿Y cuál es esa fecha?
March 22nd.
Marzo 22.
And Mr. Sanchez, are you requesting a jury trial?
Y señor Sánchez, ¿usted está solicitando un juicio conjurado?
You need to unmute.
Prenda su micrófono, por favor.
¿Es correcto?
That is correct.
And are you rejecting the state's offer?
¿Y usted está rechazando la oferta que le ha hecho el Estado?
Sí.
Yes.
And are you aware of the immigration consequences as it relates to this case?
¿Y usted está consciente de las consecuencias de migración relacionadas con este caso?
Hasta lo que yo sé ahorita, yo soy residente. Yo no soy ilegal.
Until,
soy una persona residente.
For what I know, I am a resident. I am not illegal. I am a resident.
Have you spoken to an immigration attorney?
¿Usted ha hablado con un abogado de migración?
No por el momento, no.
Not at the moment, no.
You will need to speak to an immigration attorney before March 22nd. Do you understand?
Usted va a tener que hablar con un abogado de migración antes de marzo 22. ¿Entiende esto?
Sí, está bien.
Yes, it's fine.
Defense, of course, I know you're aware of the rules and ethical consideration as it relates to your client's immigration status. Is that correct?
Y abogado de la defensa, usted está consciente y sabe de las reglas que aplican con respecto a la situación de migración con su cliente, ¿correcto? Sí, su señoría.
So, Mr. Flores, I would want any immigration questions that Mr. Sanchez may have prior to March 22nd, 2022 answered.
Y señor Flores, yo quiero que todas las preguntas que su cliente pudiera tener con respecto a los asuntos de migración sean contestadas antes de marzo 22 del 2022.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sí, su señoría.
Right, because I don't want a situation where a jury's in the hallway.
Porque yo no quiero una situación en donde el jurado ya está en el pasillo.
And then there's all of a sudden a question about what his actions, well, what consequences his action will have on his immigration status.
Y no quiero estar en una situación de que él se pregunte de qué tipo de consecuencias sus acciones pudieran tener en su situación migratoria.
All right, Mr. Sanchez, you will need to appear in court for jury trial on March 22nd. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Señor Sánchez, usted va a tener que comparecer en el tribunal para su juicio conjurado en marzo 22 del 2022.
The courtroom is located at 300 De La Rosa.
El tribunal está localizado en la calle Dolorosa número 300.
Fourth floor.
En el cuarto piso.
If there is nothing else, then the record will be closed.
Y si no hay nada más, se cierra el acta.
Yo tengo una pregunta.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sí.
Yo tengo todavía el 35% de evidencias mías que todavía no le he otorgado a mi abogado.
Permítame, I have 35% of the evidence, my evidence, that I have not provided to my attorney.
Then you will need to provide that to your attorney.
Entonces usted va a necesitar proporcionárselas a su abogado.
No le escuché bien.
Si
me puede repetir, por favor. No la escuché.
Ok, lo que la juez dijo es que entonces usted va a tener que proporcionar esa evidencia que tiene a su abogado. ¿Me escuchó?
Mr. Flores, do you speak Spanish
I do, Your Honor.
fluently?
Yes, Your Honor.
I already know the answer to the question, but for the record, I need to put it on the record. This is what we're going to do. Ms. Nero, can you let Mr. Sanchez know? I'm going to send him and his attorney to breakout room number 1. And whatever issues he needs to discuss with his attorney, he can discuss that with him there.
Ok. Señor Sánchez, ¿me escucha?
Sí, ya lo escucho.
Ok, perfecto. La juez está dirigiendo a usted y le van a mandar ahorita una invitación para que usted se conecte con una sesión pequeña en la sala número 1 para que usted pueda hablar con su abogado y le haga todas las preguntas que usted pudiera tener.
Está bien.
It's fine.
Okay, so I'll send him to number 1, and then Ms. Nero, I believe that is the last person we need interpretation for.
Okay, Your Honor.
All right,
you.
thank you. Thank you so much.
You're
It's
welcome.
good seeing you.
Good to
First
see
time
you
seeing
too.
I think New Year.
Yes. Al señor Sánchez le va a llegar la invitación ahorita para la sesión, el breakout room. Es una sala pequeña para que usted hable con su abogado número 1, ¿ok? Y conéctese ahí.
Okay, gracias.
Your Honor,
Maybe excuse. Oh,
Yes.
may we be excused from the breakout room after we're done?
Yeah. Yes, you may be excused from the breakout room.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
maybe excuse, Judge.
Yes.
Thank you. Good to
Thank
see you. Bye-bye.
You too. Have a good one.
You too.
And everyone. And Mr. Flores, I did request that you go to number 1. All right, Rafael Leal, who do you have?
I have a Zachary Guerrero, Judge. And he's present.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
I think it's Criminal Trial Division.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. Jeannie Bloomster, who do you have?
Judge, I have Letitia Serrato. However, I had filed a motion to withdraw on this case because I never intended to actually sign on to the case. It was done. I was going to make a bond for her before Christmas. My office got the wires crossed and went ahead and filed the notice of appearance. However, I was never retained and never did anything on it.
All right, we'll take that up
about it. She has a court-appointed attorney, and she's needs to keep him. They don't have any money.
Who's the court-appointed attorney?
Nathan Salam. I can't say his name. Wait, Nathan. I put it in my motion. Something.
All right, Norman, can you see if you can get Nathan?
It's like
Slamain.
Slamain, thank you.
Thank you.
If you can see if you can get him here, just give us a moment and we'll take that up once Mr. Slamain comes in.
I think it's his first setting. I'm pretty sure on the
All right, we shall see. All right, Derek Emmons.
Judge, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I have 2 cases in your docket. The first one, Alvarez, we're ready for sentencing. We're set last Friday, and then we had a victim impact statement that had to be given today.
Okay.
I think from talking to Marcus, Ms. Foria is online right now. Then I have
Yes.
Robert Briggs, Judge, and we have a final offer on that case. I don't see Mr. Briggs on though, and he's in custody.
All right, just give me one moment with that. Ms. Ferguson, can you give me an ETA on Briggs and then we'll take up your sentencing? Mr. McCrum or Mr. Martinez?
Yes, ma'am. To be upfront and honest with the court, Mr. Martinez isn't on the docket this morning, or not, he's not on the docket. He's not on the Zoom meeting. He has warrants out of County Court 6 that have presented the problem with him complying with your pretrial conditions as well. I think that's what it was set for, was the violation report.
Okay. So I give everyone till 10:30.
Yes, ma'am.
If he shows up.
I'll see if I can get him to pop in, but he's just, like I said, worried because he's already got warrants.
All right, let him know, you know, sometimes actions compound problems.
Right.
All right.
But I did talk to Marcus and hopefully to make some headway to resolve everything.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
sure. All right, we're going to take up the matter on Xavier Alvarez.
Yes, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Sanders, are you here?
Yes, Judge.
Let me pull the phone. All right, so I don't have the file on Xavier Alvarez. Does anyone, what is the cause number?
Judge, I have 21 CR 5722.
So the clerks, I need 2021 CR 5722. Just give us a moment. Bobby Gebbia, I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, we are going to go on the record in 2021 CR 5722, State of Texas versus Xavier Alvarez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Derek Emmons for Mr. Alvarez.
All right, Mr. Alvarez, can you unmute for me, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video with this sentencing because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Any objection from the defense?
No objections.
Mr. Alvarez, do you have any objection with this sentencing taking place by video?
No, Your Honor.
And the court will note for the record that the defendant entered a plea of no contest on January 14th, and that was done by video. According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is going to recommend deferred adjudication. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client, Mr. Edmonds?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Alvarez, as the court can tell, is a pretty young man, no criminal history. Made a very poor decision that day, one he deeply regrets. At the time, his girlfriend was pregnant. They have since had the child. And I'm not sure if he's married now or not, but they do have another child on the way, Judge. He's gainfully employed, working full-time, supporting himself, his girlfriend, and his children. I've talked to him numerous times about this, Judge. If you could take that day back, you would take that back. He knows he made a very, very poor decision, and obviously one that's affected him, immensely. Not just how it affected Miss Forey and the damage he's caused to her, but also the financial difficulties caused on him and his family as well, Judge. And he knows he needs to make better decisions. I think you will going forward.
All right, anything you wish to say, Mr. Alvarez?
Yes, Your Honor. First and foremost, I just want to apologize for my actions. In the heat of the moment, I made a poor decision, and I don't want that to define me for the rest of my life. That wasn't me, and that definitely is not someone I want my kids to think I am. The only thing I can do now is say I won't ever happen again, and it won't. I have a 1-year-old and I have a baby on the way. I just want to be here for them and for my wife. And I know if I could take that day back, I would. It was a mistake I shouldn't have done, and I apologize. There's really nothing I can do from here, but I really appreciate the lawyer for helping me out and doing everything he can. And that's all I really have to say, Your Honor.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 24, Your Honor.
So what do you do for a living?
I'm an engineer in maintenance department. I work with my father.
If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Clean, Your Honor.
Have you ever used drugs in the past?
When I was in high school and stuff like that, yes, ma'am.
And what drugs?
Just marijuana.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Michelle Forey, Michele Forry, 120 hours community service restitution. 40 hours of that will be deducted if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination, and that includes the booster shot. The court is not requiring anyone to take the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of your community service hours will be deducted. There's to be regular Zoom or in-person reporting. So if something happens with your Zoom and you're not able to report by Zoom, you'll need to do that in person. Anger management, parenting classes. If you complete those parenting classes, then the remainder of your community service restitution hours will be waived. But regardless, you must complete parenting classes. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be a no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. There's to be regular UAs or patch. So the patch just makes it easier because you just put it on. You have it throughout the month. You come in and you return it. Regular UAs, sometimes people find that interferes. Well, it's more intrusive because you have to go report for the UA, then you have to sit and wait for the UA. So just whatever your time constraints are, but I will tell you the patch is more expensive.
Alrighty.
And there will be regular field visits 1 time per month. Rebecca, is there anything else that Mr. Alvarez needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Alvarez, is there anything else that you need from this court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor, you completed everything.
All right, Mr. Alvarez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, with that, we will go off the record. Mr. Alvarez, I appreciate that you understand now more than ever that you should think before you act. And throughout this probation, you know what you need to be thinking? Every single action you take, you need to ask yourself, is this action that I'm taking something that could result in me being revoked and sentenced to prison for 20 years? You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Sanders, my understanding there is a impact statement.
Yes, Judge. Michelle Forry.
All right, Mr. Alvarez, I require that everyone treat everyone with respect. So just listen, internalize, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Forey?
Yes. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You may proceed. And Mr. Alvarez can hear you as well.
Okay. I just wanted to say that that day that the incident happened truly impacted a lot of, personal things as well as professional. We were at a work site. I don't know if Xavier was having a bad day, and just the way he entered the street at the time was definitely uncalled for, and certainly the actions thereafter were uncalled for. I'm not sure exactly what was going on with him that day, but it certainly impacted our work site. Even though we had, all the proper precautions set out, we were doing a pruning project for the apartment complex across from where his girlfriend at the time lived. And I just want him to know that, it definitely impacts other individuals. Not only did it impact my employees, they witnessed it. It also impacted other people in my life. It definitely, there's consequences to your behavior. There's consequences to, anger and so forth. And I really think that, you will benefit from anger management classes. I know when I was younger, I definitely had some issues as well. And, as you mature and, have your children and so forth, you definitely want to present, that good side of you. And I just wanted to be here today just to let you know that, the consequences of your behavior could have been a lot worse. That since my head did hit the pavement and I was unconscious for a little while, those are things that can, end up in a lot worse injury than I had. And thankfully I recovered with no issues. I have a minor scar, but that's something that I guess will always remind me of that day. But just wanted to let you know, I don't have any hard feelings. I understand that I was very pleased to know that you didn't have, a lot of criminal background, and that, you are on a track to, really have a good life. And that's something that I just wanted to be here today to just, let you know that it did impact me in different ways. And I do wish the best for you in the future. And I'm glad that you were able to make a plea agreement so that you can move forward with your life. That's all, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you so much for coming, Ms. Forey. And Mr. Alvarez, thank you for listening.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Alvarez, I'm going to send you to a breakout room. Probation will meet you there, and probation is going to go over your conditions with you. Mr. Emmons, you can go to the breakout room with them, or either you can be excused.
Thank you, Judge. I have one more case in the docket as well, Judge.
All right. Thank you. And Mr. Sanders, do you need to speak with Ms. Forey, please?
Yes, Judge, briefly.
All right. So, Ms. Forey, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4.
Okay.
And probation, I'm sorry, Mr. Sanders will meet you there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You do the same.
And who is your next client?
My next client, Judge, is Mr. Briggs, Robert Briggs. I think he's at the jail. I think Norma's trying to get him over. I can visit with him, Judge, if need be, through a Zoom meeting later. It's totally up to the court, but we got a last offer for Marcus this morning.
All right, just give me one moment, Mr. Evans.
Judge, they said he'll be here by 10:45.
All right. All right, the parties on RC Curtis, where are you? Are all the parties here?
Present, Your Honor.
Oh, didn't realize I was muted. State is present, Your Honor.
I'll play.
All right, and Mr. Bonk, I understand that Mr. Langlois is not here. This is merely for us to make sure that you all know that the transcripts are ready and you've received this transcript. So we're going to put that on the record. The court is calling 2019 CR 10230, State of Texas versus RC Curtis. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Darrell Harris, Your Honor.
Steven Spear for the state.
For the defense?
Charles Bunk.
All right, and are you R.C. Curtis? Could you please unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
Not for the purposes of this hearing.
Mr. Curtis, do you have any objections with this hearing taking place by video? You're on mute, Mr. Curtis.
No, ma'am.
So the reason we're here today is that a transcript was completed by our court reporter, Brenna DeMoss. Ms. DeMoss, did you complete the transcript?
Yes, Judge, it's done.
And state, have you received the transcript?
I've not physically picked him up, Your Honor. I'm in receipt of Ms. DeMoss's email, alerting us to come by and pick up the flash drives. I'll do so within the hour of this hearing.
All right, and defense, are you aware that the transcripts are completed and available for pickup?
Yes, I was notified of that. I like Mr. Harris, I need to get over there to pick it up.
All right, so state and defense, you'll need to pick up the transcripts today. And the court is putting in the file as though that those transcripts are picked up today. If they're not picked up today, that's on the defense and that's on the state. Ms. DeMoss has those transcripts ready.
Okay, they're in your court offices?
They're in my office.
Okay.
And Mr. Bonk, it's the court's understanding that Mr. Langlois is not going to be with us today for reasons outside of his control. Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not.
I'm going to put something in the chat box to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And in the chat box to the state.
Okay, thank you.
I wish they would make this so you could chat a group of people, but you have to do it individually.
Oh, no. Okay.
All right, so, and Mr. Bonk, if you could check on that for the court, please.
Yes, I will.
All right, so what we're still, even though Mr. Langlois can't be here today, we're still going to come back because I want to make sure that this case doesn't fall through the cracks. So we're going to come back. Ms. Ferguson, if you can set this for the beginning of February, and that's so that we can make sure that Mr. Langlois is going to be here, Mr. Bonk.
Yes, Judge.
So we can get an update on that.
Absolutely.
So I want this in the beginning of February, Ms. Ferguson. So if we can set it for February 1st, that would be great.
I'll be available that day.
Okay.
That's fine, Judge.
All right, so we're going to set it for February 1st. And if there are any motions that need to be filed, let's get those motions filed. Defense, I know at our last in-person hearing, you said that there was a motion that maybe the defense was going to file.
Yes. Yeah, we intend to file a writ of habeas corpus, and we'll I'll have to look into that. Richard was working on it, so I need to see what the status of that is.
All right, so everyone, we're going to come back on February 1st to see the status of that motion. And if that motion is filed on February 1st, then we will be hearing that motion sometime in February, most likely before February 14th, that is, if at all possible. But I want to make sure.
It won't be filed by February 1st, Judge. Even in best case scenario, we're going to have to, it's going to involve going through the transcript, and there's going to be a lot involved in the preparation of the writ.
Okay. All right. Everyone needs to look at those transcripts. So I'm going to see
We will.
everybody back on February 1st. And
Thank
if
you,
I can
Judge.
see all parties in breakout room number 3, please.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
And let me assign you there. Just give me a moment.
Does Mr. Curtis need to go to the breakout room or is he excused?
He is excused. Mr. Curtis, you are excused. Your attorney will contact you. And everyone, just give me a moment, please. All right, Nathan Slimane.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. You have Miss Soretto. What I
Correct.
was told by Miss Bloomster is that she was never hired to be on that case.
Okay.
So you are still the court-appointed attorney on that case.
Okay. Very good. I just when I just checked the system right now before I logged in, and it's still showing her as of record. So I just need to get that updated so I can access everything.
All right, we will make that happen. Ms. Ferguson, Mr. Slimane needs to be on Miss Serrato.
Oh, yes, ma'am. And he was just appointed over the weekend. It looks like judge from the system.
Okay. All
And I
right,
think
so what I'm gonna,
there's okay. I'm sorry,
No
Judge. I
problem.
think there's 2 cases. I just want to make sure that.
yes, he needs to be on both cases, Ms. Ferguson, the deferred
Yes,
adjudication and the new number 1.
yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 3.
Okay.
And a
Very good, Your Honor.
prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Alvarez, if you've completed signing paperwork with probation, you're excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, and then the attorney for Mr. Briggs.
That's me, Judge.
All righty, so what is happening with Mr. Briggs?
So Judge, I talked to Mark this morning. We had some discovery issues in the past. I think those have all been resolved now. Marcus has given a final offer. So we just need time to contemplate that and to see if that's something Mr. Briggs would like to accept or not.
All right, Mr. Briggs, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4 with your attorney. And if you could present that offer to him, please, then we'll come back.
Okay.
Everyone, just give me a moment to try to make sure I have all the attorneys who are requesting to speak. All right, Mr. McCrom.
Judge Rudy Martinez is on the Zoom now.
Rudy Martinez, you need to unmute. And you need to show your video.
I am.
All
Sorry
right,
about,
why are you in shorts? And that looks like underwear, not even real shorts.
I was just at work, ma'am. Sorry about that.
All right, Mr. Martinez, you need to be in court this afternoon. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And let me explain something to you that people don't realize. Well, I think they realize it, honestly, but I think sometimes people want to just kick a can down the road, right? So here's the thing. If you don't take care of issues that you have, guess what? Those issues are just going to compound. And then when you're arrested, be it at your home, at your work, at your house, it may be at your children's birthday party or your grandchildren's birthday party, or at a funeral or somewhere, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All of these things could happen. And you already know at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get arrested somewhere. So this is what we're going to do. You're going to come into the courtroom and we're going to hear this third violation report you have. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you need to be in the 187 District Court at 2 p.m. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And that is today. The courtroom is located at 300 De La Rosa. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So here are your choices. If you do not come into court by 2 a.m., you know what's going to end up happening?
Well, I'm
I'm
gonna
going
get
to
arrested.
sign off on this order that I have in my court. And it gives me three options. The third option is whatever I want to do with it. And if I don't see you, that third option, I'm going to listen to your attorney's argument with an open mind. But that third option may turn into a issue judge's warrant and remand without bond, which means you will not be getting a bond until that's heard. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So how old are you?
31.
You're 31. Let's stop running away from our problems. Let's not compound a problem and make it bigger than what it should be.
I'm not trying to run away from my problems, ma'am.
Well, I mean, well, I'm going to stop you from running away. Here it is. You need to be in the 187 District Court today at 2 p.m. If you don't show up, you know what's going to happen.
Well, I have active warrants already, ma'am. Won't I get arrested?
Come to the 187 District Court. That's what I'm telling you. You're supposed to be in the 187 District Court today at 2 p.m. Whether or not you show up or not, that is completely on you. But you have been instructed. You've been instructed you need to be in court. Whether or not you're going to be in court, that's completely up to you.
I have to make some plans with my daughter. If I'm going to go to jail, I have to have somebody pick her up.
I'm telling you right now, 2 p.m., 187 District Court.
Okay.
All right. See you then. Mr. McCrom, do you need to speak with Mr. Martinez?
I'll call him, Judge.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Slade?
Yes, Judge.
On Lisa Guzman?
At this point, we have not come to an agreement. We would
Where's
like
your client?
in jail.
All right. Have you spoken with her today?
I have.
All right. Where is she? I don't see her. Ah, there she is. Let me have her come back to the main session and we'll take that matter up. Paul Vasquez?
Judge, good morning. I have sent the paperwork back, but I need to get in the breakout room with my client to make sure he did it on his end.
All right. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 7. Mr. Visual, if you'll go to 7, please. All right, and we're waiting for your client, Mr. Slade, to come out of the breakout room. Let me see where she is. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you, Mr. Slade, can you go back to breakout room number 13 and have your client come to the main session, please?
Okay.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Contreras. Miguel Santiago.
Yes, Your Honor. I was talking to Mr. Nesbitt, and we're in agreement on a slight modification of pretrial conditions if the court is willing to be in accord with us. We would like to switch GPS to GPS tracking because it's interfering with his ability to earn a living.
All right, let me find the motion. And is it Miguel Santiago Colon?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's the agreement for tracking?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll change it to GPS tracking and waive fees.
Thank you, Judge. I think that's all the business we had, and carry on, and thank you for your courtesy.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Yes, and you can, the clerk should have that motion in the system today, or either if you want to have them scan it to you, just give them a phone call.
Thank you so much, Judge.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You're excused, Mr. Santiago.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. And everyone, just give me a moment while I sign paperwork, please. All right, we are ready on Mr. Brigg.
Judge, can I go back in the breakout room with Marcus real quick if possible?
All right.
If he's available.
Mr. Sanders, could you go to breakout room number 3, please? All right, and are we ready? We have Mr. Let me see. We have Mr. Perkins in the courtroom. And where is Fernando Ramos? All right, Mr. Perkins, we're waiting for your attorney, Mr. Ramos. And who's the attorney for Guzman? Ms. Perkins, you can have a seat. We're waiting for your attorney to return. Who's the attorney for Ms. Guzman? Gordon? Okay, and he remains in the breakout rooms and sends her to the main session. I think I may need to just go to that breakout room. All right, Ms. Bloomster, on your client, you need to file a motion to withdraw.
I have, Judge. It probably just hasn't made it to you yet. I did file it yesterday and it says it was accepted, but
we'll see if we can find that. All right, to the clerks, I need the motion to withdraw on Soretto. And Soretto actually has 2 cases. Could I have both of those cases, please?
and I was only on one of them, Judge, so.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Slade, you are back on Ms. Guzman.
Yes, Judge.
Just one moment. And now it does not want to work. All right, what is happening with Ms. Guzman?
We have conferred with the state. At this time, we do not have an agreement. The state has recommended a bond of $5,000. We would request that the court approve that bond and set this matter for a hearing.
All right, is this going to be a contested hearing?
At this point, yes, and we're not necessarily contesting all of the merits, just the state's recommendation. We have a different viewpoint.
Who are you conferring with?
It was Brittany, Judge.
I'm sorry, who? Brittany?
It was Brittany.
All right, so is it, this is what I'm trying to understand. Is there going to be a plea of true, or are we actually going to have a contested hearing? If we're going to have a contested hearing, the court is fine with that, but I need to know
Okay.
what's happening.
As far as the first violation, it would be a plea of truth.
Okay. So then why are we not doing a plea of true? If the question is, what is the court is going to do, then a plea of true can be entered, and then the court will make its decision based upon all of the evidence that I hear. But if you want a contested hearing, of course, you know, the court will hear a contested matter, but I don't want us to do for us to say we're having a contested hearing. Everybody take whatever COVID risks that we take. We have all these people to come to court, and then it's a plea of true, and let's let the judge decide. So if it's going to be a plea of true where you all want me to decide, then we can do that today.
Well, Judge, there are some issues I'd like to look into and have a chance to bring forward to the court. One of them is there seems to be a serious dispute between the amount of community service hours that have been completed. And I can't fix that today.
All right. Have you spoken to probation about the community service issue?
I have, and their records don't square with my client's recollection, and I need to have an opportunity to figure that out.
All right, let me see probation, the state, and the defense in a breakout room. And I'll see you in breakout room number 1, please.
Thanks.
And Carolyn Whitland, who are you here for?
Hello, Judge. Good morning. I am
morning.
here for, I have Matthew Burke and Matthew Snow. I think that they both have the same first name. So I have, one of them is family violence, and I don't believe the other one is. So I know that I previously had been talking with family violence on Matthew Burke. So, and his is the older one. Matthew Snow, it's a first setting.
All right, I'll see you. Breakout room number 2, and a prosecutor will meet you there.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. And everyone, just give me a moment, please. All right, and could I have probation in breakout room number 1 and a prosecutor in breakout room number 1, please?
Meredith, you want to go back into a breakout room and talk about Sherry Cooper? See if we get an offer done?
Okay.
Hello?
You can just mute yourself and wait, Ms. Cooper. We're going to
Yes, ma'am.
confer.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
All right, Ms. Bloomster, I've signed your motion to withdraw. You are excused.
Thank you, Judge. Have
You're
a good
welcome.
day.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
And everyone, the court is breaking at exactly 12 p.m. because I have another meeting at 12. So anything that's not completed by 12, well, I should say 11:59, it's coming back at 2. All right, Mr. Stateson.
Hello, Your Honor. I apologize. I was here and I had to go to another court, a few other courts. I can tell you, I conferred with Meredith earlier this morning. We have a new offer. It's valid for this week only. and Ms. De Hoyos was unable to log on to Zoom to go over it with Albert Cota Gonzalez. We need to set up either ICU solution or a jail Zoom visit Wednesday or Thursday. Is it possible to recall this to Friday?
Yes, what is the client's name again, please?
Albert Cota Gonzalez.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, we need to call Mr. Gonzalez for Thursday, please.
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll come back on Thursday, Mr. Stateson.
Thank you, Judge. And may my client, Mr. Gonzalez, be excused tonight? He's an
Yes.
inmate. All right, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Norman, can you let them know at the jail that he can go back, Mr. Conta Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
He's L30.
Judge, I just sent you a chat.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anyone else ready? And Mr. Stateson, you're excused.
Yes, Judge. Thank you.
Judge, I believe this is Paul Vasquez. I believe we have a plea where the paperwork has already been submitted to the.
All right, has your client been sworn in?
Not yet.
All right, he'll need to go back to the breakout room and there swear him in.
Jose, can you go back into your breakout room?
To make it easier for it to pop up for him, I'll just send him to a different breakout room.
Okay.
I'll send him to breakout room number 6, and I'll send you to 6. And the clerks will go to 6 to swear him in.
And Judge, I sent you a chat as well.
All right, thank you. My printer is still not working, and I just sent another one to you as well.
Okay.
Thanks. All right, anyone else ready?
Your Honor, if I may, this is Eric DeWalt. Can I check in?
Yes.
Your Honor, I was appointed to represent a Leticia Serrato, and I believe I received the appointment yesterday, January 17th at 4:49. And I was over at court just a few minutes ago, running back. My legal assistant wanted me to log on. I believe Ms. Serrato might have an additional case that y'all want to appoint me on. I believe that's
Well,
the scenario.
she already has an attorney appointed, and that is Mr. Nathan Slemaine.
Judge, I put something in the chat for you about that in regards to that.
All right, thank you. So it appears that you are the attorney on it. I don't know why everyone thought it was Nathan Slemaine. So I will send you to a breakout room and someone will meet you there.
Is there an additional case that I'm being appointed on?
Yes, she has two. She has a motion to revoke. And she also has a robbery case. And I'll
Okay.
send you to breakout room number 3.
And Norma, could you send me? Well, I'll get it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Robert Gebbia.
Morning, Judge. We are here on Sherry Cooper. I conferred
Yes.
with Meredith. Sherry Cooper's cases are now indicted. The most recent ones, she does have an older one. We have conferred. I think that there is room for more investigation, and we are asking for a regular reset. There's an enormous amount of victims on the one case, and we hope that a universal plea deal could potentially resolve all of them. There's also a co-defendant who we are anticipating getting a plea offer as well.
All right. So Ms. Cooper.
Yes, ma'am.
If you can't have your video working while you're on Zoom, you're not going to be allowed to use Zoom. The court is not going to allow that anymore.
I see my camera. Hold on. I didn't know that it wasn't showing.
No, I'm just letting you know. The court
Yes,
is not
ma'am.
going to allow that anymore.
Absolutely, I understand that. I thought my camera was on. It says it's on my side. Let me check setting.
So Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset for Ms. Cooper, please? And if you can put that in the chat box. All right, we're coming back on February 24th.
Okay.
Why?
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes.
Nice to see you.
Brenda, I don't know why Lupe keeps knocking things over.
Camera. There we go. Allowed.
Ms. Cooper, we're
Yes,
coming
ma'am.
back on February 24th. On February 24th, if your camera does not work, you will immediately be required to appear in person. So you're excused. We'll see you back on February 24th. All right. Mr. Vasquez, as soon as the court has your paperwork, we will proceed. And let me see. Here we are. All right, Mr. Edmonds or Mr. Briggs.
Yes, Judge. We got a final offer, Judge, from Marcus. I think the client's going to be rejecting the offer, but I'm understanding from talking to Marcus, she's probably still going to give us a final plea deadline. Is that correct?
Yes, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Briggs, let's call him back for Thursday, please. Mr. Briggs, at that time.
Well, Judge, if I may, just give you a little bit of background. I think Marcus got a hold of the complaining witness, or his office has. Well, Marcus has indicated to me he considered dismissing the case around February 14th if this guy has not called Marcus back himself personally. So it's possible the case may go off your docket, but however the court wants to handle that, I'm fine coming back next week.
All right, just give me a moment. I'm going to go in a breakout room with you and Mr. Sanders.
Okay.
And let me do this plea first, then we'll take that out.
Sure.
Who is the prosecutor on vigil?
I can do the plea, Judge.
All right, thank you. Court is calling 2022 CR 0316W, State of Texas versus Jose Luis Vigil. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Paul Vasquez.
And are you Mr. Vigil?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection.
Mr. Vigil, I'm going to show you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I did, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Vigil, I'm going to show you a document entitled Waiver of Indictment, Reading of Information and Rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what, by entering this plea bargain agreement, you're waiving your right to appeal? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand you're waiving certain rights your attorney has, namely 2 rights from the presentation of the information and 10 days from the presentation of the information to prepare for trial? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you are waiving those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to waive those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Next, I'm showing you the document entitled Information. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the information?
We waive.
State, are you proceeding on the information as presented?
Yes, Judge.
And on this case, I'm reviewing the information, and the information doesn't say which penalty group this is. So is this still penalty group number 2?
Yes, Judge, it's penalty group 2.
All right, is there a motion to amend the information?
Sure, Judge, if that's what you would like. I don't know if it normally says it in the indictment, but I'm fine with adding penalty group 2 language into the information as presented.
Okay, any objection, defense?
No objection.
Okay. All right, Mr. Vigil, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review this document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
And off the record, State, I'm only requesting that because I think the drug that's listed, one of the letters is off. So that's why I say that.
Oh, is it? My apologies.
Oh, no problem. That's just me. I think it is, or who knows, maybe I need my glasses on for that, but they're for distance. All right. So, Mr. Vigil, we're going to go back on the record. So you stated that you reviewed the document entitled Court's Admonishments, that you understood it and reviewed it with your attorney and electronically signed it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days to 2 years in the state jail facility. and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement? If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is confident.
Mr. Vigil, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
Oh, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication, and there's $57 to the Bexar County Laboratory for testing. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 80 hours community service restitution, and proof of employment. Did you understand? Those
Yes,
are
Your Honor.
recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State offers States Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any objections?
Objection.
Mr. Bishop, I'm sure you was entitled Wavering Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge Caitlin and I are back from our breakout room. We wanted to see if we could possibly confer with you in a breakout.
I'm in the middle of a hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge.
All right, can I see the state and defense in a breakout room, please? If I could see y'all in breakout room number 2. All right, we are back on the record. After reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are prepared, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, only that this is a mistake and we're asking the court to follow the deferred adjudication.
All right, Mr. Vigil, if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
I would be clean. Clean.
All right, when's the last time you used?
Was the last time I had got arrested.
All right, and what were you using?
It was marijuana.
And what else?
That was it.
All right, because you're going to get drug tested today. So if it's going to be something different, you need to tell me now.
Yes, ma'am. That was all.
Okay. And who is Joseph Anzaldua? What is his relationship to you?
He is just a friend.
All right. And who is Juana Rodriguez?
Sorry.
Juana Rodriguez. Yuana. Passenger in the vehicle.
Man, I was the passenger in the vehicle.
Well, I mean, there can only be one driver. So I have 3 people listed in this report. Was there a 3rd person in the vehicle?
No, ma'am, not to my knowledge. It was just me and Joseph.
Okay. All right. Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am. I just had one.
Is your son living with you?
It's my daughter, and yes, ma'am.
Child Protective Services involved?
No, ma'am.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a part-time construction worker, and I also do landscaping with my family.
How far did you go in school?
I had went up to 10th grade, and due to bills and everything, I had to help my family.
All right, in this day and age, even if you have a college degree, it's hard to find employment. So without even having a high school diploma, it's going to be extra hard. So you need to ask yourself, where do you plan to be, in the rest of your life? Now, here's the thing. Do I look down on people who do landscaping? No, because we need people to be landscapers. We need people who work at the grocery store. We need people who place your groceries in your bags, because some stores don't allow you to do that anymore, because I think they think you're using too many bags. We need all of that. Although what I can tell you, just as a side note, they're getting ready to do away with cashiers, because you see all those self-service checkout lines that they're not doing. It's the same thing when I was growing up. You had a full service gas station. You go there, they check your oil, wipe your windshields, fill up your tank. Then they started doing self-serve. Then the next thing you know, you can't get full service at a gas station anywhere. So my prediction, which I hope I'm wrong, is that they're going to be doing away with cashiers. I still will do my best to get in a line with the cashier, because I'm trying to save their job. So if you want to continue doing landscaping and construction for the rest of your life, that's great. But if not, you're going to have to do more than just have, I went to the 10th grade. Either you need to do a trade school, or either you need to get your GED, but you need to start making plans, because you have a son to support. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So what are your plans?
My plan is to eventually get into trade school, and I was learning a lot of, apprentice stuff with my dad, and recently he had passed away, so I have just gone into a funk, but slowly I'm getting back on track and building myself back up. But it is a process, and it's a learning lesson I have learned, and I'm just trying to get through this. But yes, trade school is a number one thing that I'm really looking into. Maybe welding school.
All right. And I know you love your son, hopefully, right?
Yes, ma'am. My daughter.
Your daughter. I keep saying son. I don't know why. Well, I know you love her, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I can tell you, be it a boy or be it a girl, children are expensive. And I can tell you, every parent will tell you children are expensive.
Oh, yes.
And the bills just keep coming. And I know you're new at this, but when your child turns 18 or 21, guess what? The bills are still going to keep coming. And children will come to your home and use it as a place to shop for groceries. So just know this.
Yeah.
All right. So this is what the court is going to do. 2 years deferred adjudication, $1,500 fine. I'll probate that. Restitution of $57 to Bexar County for laboratory testing. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or either in person. So if your Zoom isn't working, then you need to report in person. 80 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. That includes the booster. I'm not forcing anyone to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, I'll deduct 40 hours of your community service restitution. Proof of employment within 15 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. Parenting classes, random field visits 2 times per month. If you successfully obtain a certificate from some trade school, I'll waive the remaining of your community service hours. There's to be no contact with Joseph Anzaldua, Anzaldua. There's to be regular UAs or patch. Patch is expensive, at least more expensive than doing a regular UA, but the patch doesn't, it gives you more time movement. Regular UAs are very restrictive because you have to come downtown or wherever probation is, sit and wait for your UA. So with the patch, you just have the patch placed on, go about your business, turn the patch in when it's due to be turned in, and you're done.
And Your Honor, how much is the patch?
Probation will let you know about that.
Okay, okay.
Rebecca, is there anything that Mr. Vigil needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Vigil, is there anything you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Vigil, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I call it your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, with that, we'll go off the record. Mr. Vigil, you got a daughter. I was going to say son again. You have a daughter. So from here on out, everything that you do should be something that you're doing to make your daughter proud of you and look up to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
So with this probation, every decision you make, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could potentially get me revoked and take me away from my child for 2 years? You understand?
Yes, Your Honor. It is
All
a
right.
reality check. I'm aware.
All right, good luck to you. I'm going to send you to a breakout room. Probation will go over conditions with you. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5. Mr. Vasquez, you can go to number 5 or you can be excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Approach, Your Honor, Fernando Ramos.
Just one moment.
Thank you.
Ms. Garcia.
Yes, Judge. I have worked out a plea bargain with the state, but it requires my client paying restitution. So I'm working on getting a family member to give me a money order, and then my going to the courthouse to go pay that. And then once that is paid, we're working on a reduction to Class B misdemeanor judgment SAP.
Okay, when is this going to be done and where is your client?
My client is incarcerated.
Okay.
And it's David Rodriguez. And as soon as his girlfriend can give me the money order, I'll file it. And then we just need to come back ASAP.
Okay, so I just want to know, what date do you think that will be done so I can put it on the docket for that date? And of course, if you obtain that sooner, we'll have it heard sooner.
Well, I'm in talks with her right now that she says she could get the money. I would say that by I would say by the Wednesday, that would be a good day. But if I can get it earlier, then maybe that'd be, tomorrow is Wednesday. I'd say Thursday, Judge.
All right, so we're going to call Ms. Ferguson. Can we call David Rodriguez for the 20th, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And Norma, which page is he on? I don't see him. Ah, found it. So we'll come back on your case on January 20th. And of course, if you have it sooner, just talk to Ms. Ferguson and she'll put it on the docket sooner.
Judge, in looking at this, since it's just 2 days and everything, and you will allow me to come back sooner, can we maybe do it instead till like the 24th or something? And then if I get it sooner, like even if I get it today and can send it in there, I'll let your court know.
Sure. Ms. Ferguson, do we have the 24th?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. That would work, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we will call you back on January 24th.
Thank you, Judge. And if I get that sooner, I'll let you know.
All right. Thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Evans or Mr. Briggs?
Yes, Judge, you'd want to go in and break up with Marcus and I?
Sure. You all need me in a breakout room?
Well, you had mentioned you wanted to go in one with us before you took the plea.
Oh, no. Are we doing the plea?
I think, no, Mr. Briggs is not accepting the plea offer.
Then if he's not accepting the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Briggs, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So a plea was tendered. And let me see what page you're on.
I believe it was an add-on, Judge. It may not be on your actual printed docket.
Okay. I'm going to see. I don't have him on the add-on at all. So to the clerks, could I have the file on Mr. Briggs, please? What is the cause number?
I'll send it to the clerks, Judge.
Thank you.
Ms. Norma. Judge, I expect your trial date will be sometime in March from what Mark was sharing with me. We may have a.
Well, I don't know yet.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Whitland, as soon as I get the file on that, Mr. Edmonds, because the court doesn't have the file on that, I'll take that up.
Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Whitland on Burke.
Yes, Caitlin and I wanted to see if we could talk to you in a breakout room, Judge, on this.
All right. If you will go back to breakout room number 2, I will meet you both in breakout room number 2. Everyone, just give me a moment, please. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Burke, I need a 30-day reset, please. And that is Matthew Burke. All right, we're coming back on February 22nd. And do you have all the discovery on that, Ms. Whitland? You're on mute.
I have not had a chance to go through all of the additional stuff that Caitlin gave me in the last 30 days, but I will definitely review it and get with, I think that Caitlin's no longer going to be the prosecutor on this, so I will review it and then try to see where we get to with whoever takes it over next.
All right, and what is happening with Mr. Snow?
Mr. Snow is a first setting. Was a post-indictment fugitive, and there's a lot of discovery on this case, Judge, that I have not had a chance to go through yet. This is there's a lot of videos and medical records and stuff that I just haven't had a chance to go through, and he hasn't had a chance to see either.
All right, we'll come back on February 22nd. You and both your clients are excused.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge. You guys have a good day.
Thank you, you too. Mr. DeWalt on Serrato.
Yes, Your Honor. I got a chance to speak with my client. I got appointed on the MTR yesterday and the new case today. I talked to Norma. I was wondering if I could respectfully request a 30-day reset to download the discovery on the new case. And
Yes, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a reset date in the chat box? And to the clerks, could I please have the file that's the motion to revoke on Leticia Serrato? It's cause number 2021 CR 1786. All right, we're going to come back on February 24th.
thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, you're excused. All right, Ms. Serrato, we'll see you back on February 24th.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Norma L19 can go back. Mr. Edmonds on Mr. Briggs.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and you said that the state made a new offer?
Correct. They made an offer before, Judge, prior to us getting all the discovery. We have all the discovery now. The offer is still the same that they made previously.
And does your client only have one case with us?
Correct.
And have you received all the discovery?
I have, Judge.
All right, the court does not have a discovery acknowledgement in this file. And I do know what this case is about. So Marcus, could I see you in breakout room number 1, please, with, I'm sorry, number 2, with Mr. Edmonds, please.
Hey, Meredith, can you put me in breakout room 2, I think? Or Brenna? You're not a co-host?
Let me try. Or someone else. Maybe.
Thanks. I got it.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Briggs, we're going to come back on your case on February 11th.
Robert, did you hear that? The court date is February 11th.
Okay, I can hear now. I can hear now. Oh, we coming back February 11th?
Yes,
Okay, can I speak to my lawyer in the breakout room, please?
yes, you can.
And Judge, you need to leave from there?
He needs to come back to the main room.
Okay, all right.
All right, and I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you.
And everyone, the court has a meeting that I must go to at 12. It is now 12:05 p.m. So everyone else will have to be back at 2 p.m.
Judge, do you need me back at 2 p.m. as well?
No,
Okay.
once you speak to your client, just have him come back to the main room and he'll be excused from here.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Sorry, everyone, but we'll see you back at 2.